As she lowered her head and walked into the classroom, she found a bag of flour on her desk. This wasn't the first time she had been bullied. Unable to bear it any longer, she grabbed the bag of flour and threw it in the face of the fat girl. In a few swift moves, she knocked the 200-pound girl to the ground. The girl's name was Ji Woo, and she angrily stormed out of the classroom. As she came face to face with the teacher, she ripped off her school badge and handed it to the teacher, voluntarily requesting to drop out of school. She left the school gate, threw her backpack fiercely onto the police car that was monitoring her, and then ran away. That evening, when she returned home, she saw a cake and flowers at the doorstep and angrily kicked them away. Just as she sat down, her phone suddenly rang. After hesitating for a moment, she finally answered the call and heard her father wishing her a happy birthday. Ji Woo wasn't happy at all because her father was a gang boss, which led to her being bullied at school and constantly followed by the police 24 hours a day. Her father tried to explain, but when she saw the text message from his daughter, he felt deeply guilty and decided to secretly go back to check on her. Ji Woo looked through the peephole and saw her long-absent father. She was about to open the door but realized it was locked. The next second, she hears a gunshot. In a panic, she confirmed once again her father outside the door had been shot. She anxiously tried to open the door, but on the other side, his father tightly held the door lock. The girl frantically pounded on the door, screaming for her father. Another gunshot followed. Even on the brink of death, her father kept holding the lock tightly and broke the key, leaving only a final sentence for his daughter. At that moment, her world collapsed. Since her father was a wanted man, the police didn't take action and closed the case hastily. Ji Woo could only turn to her father's old friend, Brother Moo Jin, hoping he could find the killer. She expressed her desire for revenge, but Brother Moo Jin thought she was being naive. He handed her a pistol, but she was so scared that she couldn't even hold it properly, let alone kill anyone. Seeing this, Brother Moo Jin knocked her down with one punch and told his men to send her away, saying, "If you want revenge, you have to do it yourself." The innocent Ji Woo plastered the killer's sketch all over the streets, and soon someone contacted her. When she went to meet them, they had no idea about the killer but instead stole the 5 million she had and stuffed her into the trunk of a car. Luckily, Brother Moo Jin arrived in time to rescue her. He warned Ji Woo, "If you don't want to die, stay out of trouble." After Ji Woo assured him she understood, Brother Moo Jin took her to a gang's underground training camp. There, Ji Woo was humiliated daily. The gang members constantly harassed her, and some even laid hands on her. The only person who helped her was a man named Gang Jae, the best fighter there. At night, Ji Woo stayed up practicing in the fighting ring. One day, Brother Moo Jin walked in and told her, "Fighting isn't about brute strength but technique. You need to aim for the spots to defeat those men." Brother Moo Jin pushed herself, fighting day after day. Soon, the day of the exam arrived. In today's competition, the first-place winner would receive a 10 million reward. Brother Moo Jin sat with the exam proctor, watching from the sidelines. Ji Woo showcased the results of her hard training, quickly taking down several large men. Her final opponent was none other than Gang Jae, the man who had helped her. But Ji Woo didn't hold back. With an over-the-shoulder throw and a powerful punch, Gang Jae was knocked unconscious. Brother Moo Jin raised Ji Woo's hand. When Gang Jae regained consciousness, furious over his defeat, he spiked Ji Woo's drink. He then gathered his friends, intending to harass her. In her drugged and blurry state, Ji Woo struggled to fight back, accidentally knocking over her father's urn. Grabbing a shard of the broken urn, she tried to escape. Just as Gang Jae was about to strike her with a hammer, Ji Woo stabbed him first. When Brother Moo Jin learned of this, he was enraged. Gang Jae was expelled from the organization and received the punishment he deserved. Brother Moo Jin then went to see Ji Woo. Noticing her devastated state, he handed her a gun and revealed it was the same gun used to kill her father. The gun belonged to a police officer, and Brother Moo Jin left the rest for Ji Woo to investigate. He also handed her a file. Ji Woo's path to revenge began. Over the next 4 years, she trained rigorously day and night, eventually infiltrating the police force as an undercover agent for the organization. During one mission, Ji Woo unintentionally disrupted an operation planned by the police team, causing them to capture only a low-level criminal after months of preparation. The team leader, Pil-do, was furious, and the two immediately became rivals. The next day, after leaving an interrogation, Pil-do unexpectedly saw Ji Woo again. It turned out that Ji Woo had been transferred to his team. However, the truth was Ji Woo had been determined to join the police team because she suspected that team leader might be the one who killed her father. The team leader admired Ji Woo's abilities and arranged for her to be partnered with Pil-do. That evening, Ji Woo informed Moo Jin about her successful entry into the police team. Mu Jin, recalling how Ji-woo's father had once saved his life, gave her a personal dagger and told her to use it to avenge her father when she found the murderer. He also assured her that the organization would fully support her. Soon after, a captured underling gave up vital information, leading to the first collaboration between Ji-woo and her former enemy. They were tasked with investigating a drug dealer named Mango. Disliking Ji-woo from the start, Pil-do sent her in first, hoping to teach her a lesson. However, after a long wait, when Ji-woo didn't return, Pil-do grew concerned and gathered his team to assist her. Upon entering, they found that Ji-woo had already taken down all of Mango's bodyguards and found the stash hidden in a bottle. Pil-do, who had intended to show Ji-woo her place, was dumbfounded. Ji-woo had become a police officer for the sake of revenge, but she didn't expect that her first mission after joining the police team would involve capturing Mu Jin, the very man who had trained her to become an undercover agent. The sudden nature of the secret operation left Ji-woo with no time to warn Mu Jin, as her phone had been confiscated beforehand. On the way to the mission, Ji-woo desperately tried to find a way to send out a warning but failed. Mu Jin, unaware of the looming danger, boarded the ship. Ji-woo and Pil-do's team infiltrated the ship's cabin, swiftly taking down the guards. Soon, Ji-woo spotted Mu Jin on the lower deck but had no idea how to alert him. At that moment, Pil-do also noticed Mu Jin and his men and immediately charged downstairs, aiming at Mu Jin. Suddenly, a gunshot rang out, shattering a power line. In the chaos, Mu Jin and his men fled, but the spilled chemicals triggered a massive explosion. Ji-woo rushed downstairs and pointed her gun at Pil-do, but Mu Jin glanced at her and escaped. Team leader Che was frustrated, not only because they failed to capture Mu Jin but also because the evidence on the scene had been destroyed in the fire. As the search team combed through the wreckage, Ji-woo stumbled upon a gun hidden in a corner. This was the same gun used to kill her father. She had orchestrated the discovery so that she could legally investigate the gun's owner. Meanwhile, Mu Jin was furious about being ambushed and ordered his men to find out who leaked the information. Some of his subordinates suspected Ji-woo, and even Mu Jin began to have doubts about her loyalty. After seeing the gun at the crime scene, team leader grew increasingly worried. He secretly inspected every team member's weapon and brought some files to the investigation center, passing them to a colleague. Ji-woo, following the team leader, learned that the team leader's obsession with catching Mu Jin wasn't just because Mu Jin was a notorious drug lord. 10 years ago, one of the team leader's most beloved team members had been killed by Mu Jin, and he also wanted revenge. Ji-woo then received a call from Mu Jin. She warned him that the organization's offices had been bugged with hidden cameras in several key areas. With this information, Mu Jin started to trust her again. At that moment, a man wearing a fur-lined coat made his move. This man, who had once been kicked out of the organization after being humiliated by Ji-woo, had now sworn to take revenge on both Mu Jin and Ji-woo. He and his men attacked, leaving a message in blood challenging Mu Jin. The next day, Ji-woo arrived at the scene and confirmed from a distance that Mu Jin was unharmed. As she was leaving, she unexpectedly ran into team leader and Pil-do. Ji-woo quickly lowered her helmet and passed them, but Pil-do sensed something was off. Later, team leader invited Mu Jin out for a drink, and the two powerful men sat down to have a serious conversation. The atmosphere grew tense as team leader arrived, challenging Mu Jin. Determined to eliminate this threat, Mu Jin resolved to take him down for good. Meanwhile, the police set another trap to capture Mu Jin. During a meeting, team leader casually hinted about a planned meeting with an undercover informant inside the organization. Sensing danger, Ji-woo quickly alerted Mu Jin and decided to track down this hidden mole within the group. However, this was all part of another one of team leader's schemes. Team leader had long suspected there was a mole inside the police force, and this time he wanted to expose Mu Jin's informant. Ji-woo followed team leader on her motorcycle, following him to a luxury car flashing its hazard lights, where he tried to confirm the identity of the person inside. Pil-do caught her in an ambush. Despite the danger, Ji-woo managed to escape thanks to her agility. She later realized that the person in the luxury car was Mu Jin's assistant. Team leader didn't catch the informant, but now had a strong suspicion of who it might be. He instructed Pil-do to keep a close eye on Ji-woo. Ji-woo then reported everything about the assistant's meeting with the team leader to Mu Jin. After tending to her injuries, Ji-woo continued her search for the gun that killed her father. She discovered that the gun was linked with Mu Jin, causing her to question Mu Jin's involvement in her father's murder. Pil-do had been quietly observing Ji-woo since the failed operation and noticed she was investigating Gun Pyong. He decided to team up with her to uncover the truth. They followed a mysterious figure to a deserted car yard, where they spied on a deal between Ji-woo and the figure. However, they didn't realize it was all a trap set by Gun Pyong. A group of assassins ambushed them, and they were captured. In an act of revenge, Gun Pyong shot Ji-woo in the leg and tortured her. Afterward, he called Moo Jin, using Ji-woo's life as bait to lure Moo Jin into a trap. The two were locked in a van, and Gun Pyong planned to take his revenge on Ji-woo in the most brutal way possible. The scene intensifies as the crushing machine begins to compress the van, trapping Ji-woo and Pil-do inside. Relying on his survival instincts, Pil-do quickly frees Ji-woo from her restraints, selflessly pushing her out of harm's way without regard for his own safety. At the same time, Moo Jin arrives, risking exposure to the police to save Ji-woo. Just as the two are about to be crushed, Moo Jin drives his car into the machine, halting its operation. Ji-woo is left in shock as the police arrive, but Moo Jin has already fled the scene. Back at his hideout, Moo Jin tends to his injuries while his assistant questions why he acted alone that day. Despite his efforts, the danger isn't over for Ji-woo. If Gun Pyong exposes her undercover identity, she'll be in serious trouble. To protect her, Moo Jin decides to send her abroad temporarily, with plans to secure a safe house by the sea. Meanwhile, the police intensify their investigation, capturing one of Gun Pyong's men and using him to gather more information. With no other option, Gun Pyong reaches out to team leader, offering to help capture Moo Jin in exchange for safe passage out of the country. Using Gun Pyong's intel, the police set up a trap. Moo Jin knows it's a trap but insists on confronting the traitor anyway. As soon as the two sides meet, gunfire erupts. The police, lying in wait, spring a surprise attack, catching both Moo Jin and Gun Pyong in the crossfire. During the chase, both are wounded, but Ji-woo manages to intervene, allowing Moo Jin to escape. Gun Pyong, confident that Ji-woo won't kill him, threatens to expose her undercover identity. As Pil-do and the others arrive, Ji-woo makes a fateful decision. To protect her secret, she shoots and kills Gun Pyong. Although Ji-woo is a trained killer, this is her first time taking a life, and the weight of it haunts her. She lies awake at night, tormented by nightmares of the death. Pil-do, understanding she will feel insecure, visits her with food and offers company. It's the first snow of the season, and as the two share a drink while watching the snow fall, Pil-do gently asks about Ji-woo's likes and interests. Ji-woo quickly sees through his attempt to bond, but eventually she lets her guard down. She opens up about the time the gang had tried to harass her, sharing this vulnerable moment with Pil-do. Pil-do, unaware of Ji-woo's true motives, he feels a hint of pity for her. Meanwhile, Moo Jin, severely wounded and on the run, seeks refuge in a mountain temple, where a trusted friend helps him recover. However, her former enemy had anticipated this and sent a package to Ji-woo before his death. When she opens it, Ji-woo is shocked to find an old photo from 15 years ago. Her father is in it, wearing a police uniform, and the name on the badge matches the officer that team leader once mentioned. This revelation causes Ji-woo to doubt everything she thought she knew about Moo Jin. She visits him at the temple and confronts him, asking if he was responsible for her father's death. Moo Jin, with a calm behavior, insists that it was team leader who orchestrated her father's demise. Suspicious but not entirely convinced, Ji-woo leaves. Once she's gone, Moo Jin immediately calls his assistant, instructing him to eliminate team leader. Meanwhile, team leader, unaware of the plot against him, gets drunk and is escorted home by Pil-do. When they arrive, an assassin is already lying in wait. A brutal attack ensues, and though the team leader manages to shoot the assassin, he is critically injured. As the killer flees, they pass by Ji-woo, who has arrived just in time to see the team leader bleeding out. In a moment of confusion and anger, she demands to know why he killed her father. Team leader, equally shocked, realizes that Ji-woo has been manipulated by Moo Jin all along. Before he loses consciousness, he hands Ji-woo a file, revealing the truth. Just as Pil-do bursts through the door, Ji-woo escapes through the window. She flees to the streets, overwhelmed by the betrayal, pounding her chest in anguish. In despair, she sits in her car, lighting a cigarette, and presses the burning tip against the tattoo on her chest, a symbol of her loyalty to Moo Jin. As she processes the file he gave her, Ji-woo discovers that her father had been an undercover agent, secretly feeding information about Moo Jin's operations to the police for years. Moo Jin had considered him a trusted friend, but that trust was shattered when he discovered a listening device hidden inside a lighter her father had given him. Moo Jin, upon discovering the listening device inside the lighter, felt deeply betrayed. On Ji-woo's 17th birthday, he showed up at her house and personally killed her father, who had been his most trusted friend. Learning the truth, Ji-woo is devastated. Moo-jin, whom she trusted and even saw as a father figure, is actually the one responsible for her deepest loss. Meanwhile, Moo-jin's assistant learns that Ji-woo is still alive and, acting on her own, hires assassins to eliminate her. However, Ji-woo, with her protagonist's skills, fights off and defeats the three hitmen, leading to a final showdown with the assistant. In a fierce battle, Ji-woo ultimately kills him. On the other side, the police, now investigating Moo-jin for the murder of the gang, prepare to prosecute him. To test Ji-woo's loyalty, Moo-jin turns himself into the police, shocking Pil-do and his team. Ji-woo storms into the interrogation room, demanding to know why Moo-jin turned himself in. Staring him down, she retrieves a critical piece of evidence, a murder weapon with Moo-jin's fingerprints on it. However, evidence emerges that implicates Ji-woo in team leader's attempted murder. The suspicious vehicle seen outside team leader's home that day was registered in her name. Pil-do finally understands Ji-woo is the undercover agent. The police quickly lock down the station, intending to capture Ji-woo before she can flee with the evidence. But Ji-woo, as always, manages to escape. Moo-jin, wearing sunglasses and feeling confident, also walks out of the police station, but upon returning home he finds his assistant's dead body. Once part of a tight-knit group of three loyal brothers, Moo-jin now finds himself the last one standing. Pil-do, having realized where Ji-woo might be heading, the place mentioned by team leader, tracks her down. Feeling betrayed, he shoots at her twice, injuring her, and brings her back to the police station. However, Moo-jin, refusing to let her fall, arranges for a lawyer to free Ji-woo. The next day, the lawyer shows up, demanding medical treatment for Ji-woo due to her injuries. As planned, Ji-woo is transferred to a hospital, where Moo-jin has already prepared for her escape. She successfully flees the police's grasp once again. Soon after, Pil-do receives a call from a recovering team leader, who reveals the full truth about Ji-woo. She is the key undercover agent the police have been searching for all along. Meanwhile, Pil-do receives a call from Ji-woo, who is on the run and about to seek revenge against Moo-jin. He rushes to the underground hideout to stop her, insisting that she cannot let the man who killed her father manipulate her any longer. He believes this revenge is something she must handle on her own. Locked in together, they must work as a team to fend off Moo-jin's henchmen. After a thrilling escape, Pil-do takes Ji-woo to a seaside cabin, surprising her with his thoughtfulness. He remembers her love for the ocean. Inside, he carefully treats her wounds and urges her not to let revenge consume her. During this tender moment, Pil-do confesses his feelings for her. Since her father's death, Ji-woo has been consumed by hatred, but Pil-do's kindness offers her a warmth she hasn't felt before. They briefly enjoy their time together, but Moo-jin soon learns of Ji-woo's disappearance and is enraged. The next day, Ji-woo has a revelation. Her father would not want her to seek vengeance through murder, but instead wants her to see Moo-jin brought to justice. Pil-do is relieved by her decision and prepares to take her back to the police station, assuring her that he will always be there for her, no matter what. Just then, a mysterious figure appears, shooting at Pil-do. Despite the danger, he remains steadfast until his last moment, trying to protect Ji-woo. In a moment of desperation, she grabs his gun, feeling more determined than ever to seek revenge. With fierce resolve, she infiltrates the organization to confront Moo-jin. As Ji-woo prepares for the final showdown, she loads a single bullet into the gun, intending to leave it for Moo-jin. The ensuing battle is intense, with Ji-woo facing off against some of the most formidable men in the organization. This sets the stage for an ultimate clash between them, filled with tension and unresolved emotions. Ji-woo pushes open the office door, locks it behind her, and strides in determinedly, wielding a gun that is empty of bullets. Moo-jin remains unbothered, mocking her for her father's cowardliness and taunting her for failing to take the chance to kill him during her time as an undercover agent. Despite having fought her way into his stronghold, she still lacks the courage to pull the trigger. Ji-woo tells Moo-jin that she initially intended to lead a peaceful life, but the death of Pil-do was the last straw. She tears a photo of Moo-jin and her father in half and discards her gun, choosing to confront him physically. The two engage in a struggle, but Ji-woo quickly finds herself overpowered. Moo-jin disarms her, preparing to finish her off when she seizes an opportunity to retaliate. With sheer determination, Ji-woo manages to grab a knife, ready to fight back. As Moo-jin taunts her, he picks up his gun and aims it at her, smugly believing he has her cornered. In a twist of fate, she discovers that the gun is empty, just as she lunges forward and stabs him, ending their confrontation. With Moo-jin dead, Ji-woo avenges the two men she loved most. The story comes to a close, wrapping up the narrative of revenge. Thanks for watching. Like and drop a heart if you like the story.